right. Good morning. Hey, look at that. 6:30 on the nose. Red Dogs is on time. Hope all of you guys are feeling good. It is Wednesday. And you know what? So far, I would say a pretty good week. Cheers to all of you guys who are getting up early, doing your thing, getting your routine process, getting your mind right. If you remember, 24 hours ago, I was sitting here, and what was the important thought of the day? It's always like Mr. Robin Hood's neighborhood. Remember, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. remember Buckwheat? Buckwheat. Okay. Anyway, yesterday, the thought was, would we hold 583? It wasn't rocket science. I didn't have like my 1,000-person think tank. I wasn't calling the guys over at Morgan or at Coleman. I'm like, you know what? This is Friday's low, 583.86, right? What happened on Monday? We held that low. Okay, some things rebuilt. And then yesterday was a money day. I think most people on my alpha team and virtual trading floor were like they had their best day in a while. And a lot of them got back above, their high that they had on Friday. A lot of us on Friday got a little beat up, including me. The move in Amazon was friggin' retarded. Excuse my French. I shouldn't say that word. That's not nice. It is not nice, so I shouldn't say that word. China. Who did that? Anyway, someone took over the Red Dog. Anyway, I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com, the creator of Red Dog Mindset, and we all need it in order to think clearly so we could execute on the X's and O's. So anyway, here we are. We did a nice little test of the 583.86. After a little bit of a bleed lower, held the 21-day, held the gap. This morning the SPYs are up a little, not a whole lot. 591. The question is, will it fill this gap prior to Nvidia? Nvidia comes out after the close. So everyone's like, Red Dog, what are you doing with Nvidia? Okay, well, to be honest, I started buying the 152 halves prior to last week when the stock was hovering around 148, thinking we get a pre-earnings run. So, when we came off into Monday, what did Red Dog do? Red Dog bought more than 152 and a halves for like 2.25. And I even told you guys, I said that Nvidia has big support at 137.60. I gave this number. Like it was almost like I gave you tomorrow's newspaper today on Monday morning. But anyway, into this area because I was buying thinking we can get above 152. That happened. I averaged down to 2.25. And yesterday I was selling some of those 152 halves, close to 3 3/4. So it's almost like they gave you a nice move prior to the print. And now today's the print, right? I've posted so many different things. You can look on the Twitter about, about revenues, about Blackwell, about this, about that. Bottom line is in order to go higher, it's got to get above 149.76 at this point. Nvidia is up 25 cents. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take the rest of the 152 halves off just because it's too close. Like I'm not worried about missing a $5 move or $7 move, a $5 move in Nvidia. I might go a little higher. I might create a call spread. I'm not exactly sure. I got to figure it out. These earnings plays with options. If you do 10 of them every earnings season, so 2 or 3 of them you make 5x, 6x, 7x. But most of the others are like you break even. It takes your mind off the trade in the morning. You lose all of it, and I just want to get through it so then we could trade in active sequence without worrying about big binary events. But anyway, this is your key. If you're trading after hours, it's got to get above and stay above 149.76. Some are thinking that the measured move is like 8%. If it comes in, this is the 50-day 132. Recently, most 100 days have been holding. So you want to write down, some support areas. Like if all of a sudden, if it's like in line, right, and not enough, and not super duper duper duper, then it might be trading down to 125. So what I always do is I map it out going into it. And right now I'm just giving you the cocktail napkin version. I'm not giving you, the sophisticated numbers. But here you go. So this would be some support. There's your 200-day. If it gets above 149.76, it can go. Thank goodness we had a nice 2-day move letting us out of our, play that we thought would happen. Anyway, so with that being said, I'm still hyper-focusing on Tesla. Tesla looks absolutely fantastic. It's down $1. Yesterday, I was telling you guys I was buying it down 4 pre-market. When green went up 6, building. It is building a nice upper flag. As long as it holds this 330 and goes sideways, I think there's a nice juicy trade above 348 and 358. I am trying to stay long here. Looks good. Do you see the Cybertruck and the motorcade? Crazy. Anyway, so with that said, Tesla's down $1, not the end of the world. I would think that you could buy it down $1 at some point. It might be testing. I think it might need one more day or need to know what Nvidia is doing before it breaks out above 348, 358. We shall see. I will say Apple kind of sucked yesterday, excuse my French. It was really strong. I was feeling good. I was in it, and I'm in options for December, which I still think will be great. But I was in the stock, and all afternoon the spies are going up, Apple's going down. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It was so strong in the morning. P.S. There was a news article that on Singles Day in China, it wasn't the number one phone, but it still was a number one attraction. It's only down 55 cents. I would not be selling Apple in your investment account because Singles Day wasn't what it was. Apple, by the way, is trying to diversify and trying to do a lot more stuff in India, a lot more stuff in Vietnam, just it's not just a China. It's far from a China story. They've been diversifying, but anyway, it still hasn't been able to get above this. Not a lot of things are great. Some things are trading well, some things aren't. P.S. Apple is kind of in the game, but it is what it is as far as an inactive trade. I'll tell you, let's see. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world before we get going. Here we go. Let me put this here so everyone could see. Put the kaleidoscope, the red dog scope. Bobby, who wouldn't want to be in a vehicle that's bulletproof? That's true. Mario, hi, Scott. Glad you sound better. Oh, thank you, my friend. Did have a little bit of a cold. I went in the sauna. I sweat out like 3 pounds of water. I did ice barrel cold plunge back and forth to purge everything out. Get it done. Mike Pags is always ready to go. Be well from Austin. How's the barbecue doing? We got Hungry in the house. That's Johnny. Good job. Ladies and gents, Diego Melnick in the house. We got the Sabre presidential limousine on deck. Anyway, hopefully everyone's doing well. I've been talking to a lot of traders. Target is bullish. Okay. And, everyone who's getting up in the morning, everyone who's getting prepared, everyone who's tuning in, it's getting ready for the day. It's funny. It's cute because this stock has been horrible. I came in yesterday. My buddy Phil, I'm going to give Phil props. He's like, Red Dog, my option guy flagged so many options bought on Monday in Rumble. I'm like, why Rumble? Rumble's been a piece of junk. It stops, it goes. He goes, I'm just telling you. He goes, they were buying the 7s, the 8s, the 12s, the 15s for next year. And then very, very cute, Rum comes out and the CEO says something like he wants to talk to Saylor about buying Bitcoin. It might be a little late to be putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet at 94,000, even though I think it goes to 100,000 plus. But anyway, so I bought some options yesterday, some 7s, and everyone's like, Red Dog, why are you buying that piece of junk? I'm like, you know what? A lot of money's coming on the options, and chances are money doesn't lie, and here you are up 10%. I also bought the stock. Anyway, what I think GME should do that. GME did all these friggin' at the money offerings, 3 or 4 of them. They're sitting on billions of dollars. I don't even think they really have a good business, but bottom line is it's the meme of all memes. The stock is really tight. They got to come out with something soon and talk about what they've been doing with their cash. If they said that they've been buying, not looking to buy, like the CEO of Rumble, I would think that, this would be, $40 pretty damn fast. If these altcoins that are worth absolutely garbage nothing in Bitcoin land, because they are worth nothing, and half of them are shysters, just saying. That's why I just focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few others. Don't get caught up buying all the altcoins in the crypto market into the euphoria. You're going to cry. Yes, you can make it double, triple, quadruple. I did the same thing 2021, and I did well. And then I gave back a bunch because I was buying something 50% off the highs, and I didn't realize it can go 97% off the highs once, the euphoria, dwindles. But anyway, I do think there is a play here. I bought options for Thanksgiving, 11/29, not this Friday, next Friday, because usually you have some kind of euphoric Thanksgiving week, and I think that my little antenna on GME is going up. And you don't have to put a lot. Just buy the $30 calls. If it works, it works. If it's a zero, it's a zero. It's just a thought. Red Dog, is this Fattel pump and dump? Will it ever die? I don't know. It's a dangerous game. I lost a lot of money in this thing. At first, my friends told me it was a scam. I was shorting it here and I made good money. And then right here, it looked like it was going to die. And my friend's like, hey, we're still short. It's going to $5. Well, I got, I added here and I covered, thank God, right into here. And so I shorted like 15s and I covered 20s. I was so mad. I lost like 50 grand. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done here. because these kind of things you have no control. You have none. You want to play these pump and dump scams and you think they're going to be a zero at some point. Usually they are, and there's been a bunch of them. But if it's going to paralyze you, because if I was just looking at this chart and I had no idea, like, it's a little loose and wide, but it looks fine. Chances are it can go to zero. But other chances it can go to 80 first and you can be put out of business. So Red Dog, I'm a singles hitter. I thought I would try it because I've watched them play a bunch of things go to zero, or go to like IZM, went to zero after a big squeeze. Look at this. Did you make it to 51 before that? And did you lose your mind? Or BYU, some of these things, go and then boom. I tried it. I talked to people all around the world. I have followers from every different country, thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of, and they all bring me ideas, and I've watched them make some money. And I try and jump in, but I always come back to Red Dog, which is the routine, the process, singles. If it's above the 821 day, I'm in. If it's below, I'm out. And I try and have some kind of portfolio. Like I gotta say, Reddit is my number one stock. Like Reddit, wow. Like look at that move. You know what? You know what got me on Reddit again? I had heart surgery May 30th, and somebody, one of my good friends from around the world, because I have a bunch of good friends from around the world, was like, did you see the mitral valve Reddit group? I'm like, oh, I didn't know Reddit has more than Wall Street Bets. He's like, no. He's like, there's groups for everything. There's so much knowledge there. So I went to Reddit. I looked at the mitral valve group because it was like 2 weeks before my surgery. And there was every bit of piece of information, pre-surgery, post-surgery, what it means, this and that. I was like, wow, I'm like, this is pretty damn cool. And great people on Reddit. So anyway, I started playing it here, saying, hey, it was the only new issue that came out in 2021 because we've been in a bear market for new issues. And look at it now. Bought back into this area. And at some point, this is going to take out 139 and continue. This and Dash, another name that I changed a little bit because Red Dog trades Apple and Amazon, this and that. And then some guys say, hey, Dash is another name that, came public, in that same time frame. And, if you look at it, it's a lot more than just food delivery. And we started playing it right around here. My friends were like, this is a story that's going to go on for years. Trade it, massage it, and get familiar with it. If you trade it, massage, and get familiar with a trade, you then get to know it better than everything else because it's the top of your go-to list, and you can make a ton of money. And we've been in this since here, and just bought it back on Friday. Bought back at the 8th day, and look at it now. Look at it now, looking really good. And at some point, this will probably be above 178 on its way. So yes, some people like, hey, Red Dog, you have this go-to list of names. Does it change every few years? I'm like, well, a lot of it kind of stays the same, but some stocks that are special come in, and the ones that turn to sugar honey iced tea go out. So Dash and Reddit have come in, and what's gone out? AMD's gone out, Intel's gone out. I used to trade Snow all the time. It went out. CELH, whatever. So that's what you got to do. As far as like these names, like CCJ, someone said, yeah, this is a new name for me, and it looks pretty good. This looks like at some point it's going to get above this 58 and go. We were buying it versus 50.16. And then, you have Oklo, which is one of these, the smart reactor, whatever you want to call it. We had it here, okay, and looks a little loose and wide, not as good as, this is the one that I'm focused on now. NNE. Look at this chart. Okay, it was ready to go when all of those names were going, and then they raised money at 21.5 and 17.5. So they raised a lot of money, and now it just rebuilt all those people who may have gotten, shares lower, flipped it, free lunch, but then most of the institutions are staying behind it. So I do think that this isn't over. The whole nuclear uranium play is not over, and it's going to get above this 27.50, get to there, and there's a whole trade here. So it was strong yesterday. I think this chart looks a little bit better, but SMR looks pretty good too. I just went away from it because the setup there doesn't look as good to me. So this little group, Oklo, SMR, NNE, they became a focus over a month ago, and they've done very well. So you have to change, your go-to list somewhat. But bottom line is you could get really good at what you do. Use your tier system, your day count rule, use options, use a swing account, use a day trading account. Every now and then, someone, if they bring you a good idea, go with it, but don't change. Don't look for the free lunch. I looked for the free lunch in that, and it hurt me, and it took me away. And and now I'm back to my core competency, which is right now. I'm in a bunch of things, and I'm trying to massage them and using options and, hedging with calls and doing my thing. But anyway, I do think this looks pretty good. Robinhood. Robinhood, I was playing early and I kind of got away from it. So there's not much I could say about Robinhood except for congratulations. And I hope it continues to go a lot higher because I am a angel round investor in public.com. I'd love to see that come public. And then Red Dog, might go to Sizzler if public goes public soon, hopefully. Anyway, and then as far as like Bitcoin, it's hanging here. This IBIT looks great. Options came out yesterday. I was like, how much are the 55s for, December 20th? They were $3. I'm like, you know what? Probably better off buying a ton of IBIT and selling those and then getting 58 because that's a lot of premium. Why do you always get MIRR? Yeah, that's true. So Trader Isaac is saying, why don't I trade MIR anymore? Because we had a great trade here. This was when it was an awesome setup. I made money from here to here and got out, and I just never got back involved. Lost in Translation. You guys ever see that movie? Well, this was Lost in Translation, and it looks really good. Same way in crypto mining land, we had CORZ, which was awesome. Okay, and just never went back to it. I had it here, which was the best spot to be in, and I traded to here, made money here. I got out at like 14, and I missed the move to 18. So again, what do you say? You can't kiss all the cute girls, especially if you're married, or you can't kiss all the babies. It is what it is. Anyway, yeah, CCJ is the play. CCJ is the one that institutions are allowed to buy. CCJ is the one where my friends into this pullback were buying, a ton of $60 calls for December, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, I got to jump. Glad I got a little bit of my voice back. Take some care today, and let's keep, making the donuts. Anyway, later, guys. Most of you are too young to know that commercial from Dunkin' Donuts when it's like, time to make the donuts. We don't do that anymore. We don't go to work like that. We go in the sauna. We go in the ice barrel. We get ready for go time. That's what we do with Red Dog Mindset.